All right, we are live. Welcome everybody to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today my guest of honor is Krazy Katnip, or Catnip Crazy. Could it be either way? Do you like catnip? I don't know.
I go by Catnip, Katie.
Yeah, there you go. I remember some friends of mine tried to. All right, fair enough. I just remember some friends of mine tried to smoke it once, and it didn't really fare well.
I can't imagine that it would.
All right. Also, guys, I do have a couple of links for Krazy Katnip down below if you want to follow her on Twitter, or you can sub to her channel. There's no content yet, but she promises that some will be coming at some point. So
Maybe,
there you go.
Maybe. I can think of something to do on the internet. So suggestions are also welcome.
All right. And also, I do have a very important link down below for my friend Purple Rhymes with Orange.
Absolutely. Go throw money at him if you can.
His GoFundMe and his what do you call it? PayPal, also to help them get their move happening. They're getting up there, but they still need a little bit to make it finalized. So if you can spare a little bit, I know it's tough these days, especially after Christmas and whatnot, but help if you can. All right. And I'm going to be throwing some more at them as soon as I'm able to as well, now that all my bills are taken care of. So, and I'm excited because tomorrow is the release of the Faithless Forum tickets.
My birthday.
It's also your birthday?
Tomorrow's my birthday. That's why
you mentioned that. That's right. Well, happy early birthday, I guess.
Today's my last day of being 21.
All right. Well, that calls for another sip. There you go. Now you're legal to drink everywhere in the world, I think. Pretty much. Nothing to do about that. By the way, guys, we'll have to keep it down because her baby is like just over there. So.
Oh no, she's very awake. I was telling you that so that if she starts screaming, you're not like, what?
Yeah. Okay. So at least we'll know. We've been given the heads up. And if you notice, I finally made a ticker down below to thank my wonderful patrons for their support of this channel. And I didn't realize that I hadn't set up a place where where Patreon could send the money. So I did that the other day, and finally it'll start filtering through to my account. The whole probably $4 left after they take whatever the hell they get from it. So anyway, but you know what I do here. I talk to people about the reasons they left their religions or their belief systems, or whatever they were, and the journey that it took them on. You know, the ups, the downs. If you can kind of take us back as far as you can remember when you started thinking this stuff just doesn't seem to make any sense to me anymore, and the final domino that kind of made you pop out of it into becoming the atheist activist that you are today.
Yeah, well, it's been an adventure. That's right.
Is it one of those choose your own adventures, or? I guess it would be, right?
A lot. Where to start?
I don't know. That's up to you.
That's fair. I was raised in a very Christian home, but we never went to church. Well, we didn't start going to church until I was in like middle school. And that was kind of my fault that we started going to church.
Your fault? Were you asking them, why aren't we going to church or something? Or
no, I met this boy. He was a friend of a friend. He lived down the street from one of my brother's friends. Okay. And his mom was like super crazy church lady.
Oh, yeah.
Every Sunday, that's where they were. And so me and him kind of started liking each other. And I was like, we should hang out. And he was like, yeah, no. I'm not allowed to hang out with anybody that doesn't go to church. So that's how we started going to church. It was terribly my fault because of some boy who ended up being not worth my time, but...
Going to church for what you thought could be love, huh?
Yeah. Love is a very strong word for a 13-year-old.
Okay, infatuation? Would that be more like it?
That might be better.
I've been a victim of that myself.
Yeah, but that's how we started going to church. But my mom was always like, she never read the Bible to us per se, but she was always like praying out loud and telling us that God was watching us being my brother and I. And when I was younger, I could have sworn that I could see people that weren't there, you know, Like my dead grandfather, who I never, like I met him physically, but I was so little that I don't have any memories of him. But I swore, like there were times that he came to me and talked to me about stuff. Imagine.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, it was when I was little. I couldn't have been more than like 6 or 7, if even that.
Would you classify that as something akin to like an invisible friend, maybe, or just an overactive imagination where
it's
you were
probably closer to an imaginary friend.
Okay.
I mean, he wasn't there often. I just like, oh hey, there's Granddaddy. There he goes. I did have lots of imaginary friends growing up, so I'm not terribly worried about it.
Yeah, I know. I think we all did at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of those kids that used to think his toys came to life when he went to bed.
Oh, me too.
And I used to wake up to see if I could catch him. Fuck, they're quick.
Yeah, right? I used to have all of my stuffed animals sleep, like a couple on this side of me, a couple on this side of me, because these two don't talk, so they have to be on separate sides. And I had all my stuffed animals sleep with me so that none of them got jealous that they weren't sleeping with me.
You're right. You wake up and they're scrapping each other.
Yeah. Don't want to wake up to that.
Fuck you, Teddy. All right, so you talked your folks into getting you to go to church because you had some crush on some kid.
Yeah, and that ended up being probably one of the best and worst decisions ever.
Okay.
And what I mean, like, so I come from a kind of accidentally abusive family.
What does that mean?
So my mom, my dad, I use that term extraordinarily loosely because I have no relationship with him anymore at all, period.
Okay.
The only thing we share is DNA, and I wish we didn't share that. He was incredibly abusive my entire life. Wow. And I think my mom kind of moved us more towards religion to kind of be like, he shouldn't be like that. We should pray it away. Right. She still thinks that works, and it doesn't. But
of course not.
No, I'm not there to try to tell her any different.
Well, let her do whatever makes her comfortable.
But while we were going to the Baptist church that we were going to, everything kind of exploded one day. Well, my parents fought a lot. It never got physical until one day after church. My dad decided he was going to try to strangle my brother almost to death. And that was terrifying, especially because I didn't see it happen. I only had to hear about it. Because I always, even as a kid, music was my coping mechanism. Whenever my parents would fight, I would just go outside, sit on my swing set, and jam out to whatever I was listening to in my CD player. And so I was out there one Sunday, and my brother just comes running out of the front door. I'm in the backyard behind the fence, and he just comes running, and down the street he goes, screaming, crying, just a mess. And my brother's never like that, ever. And so I jumped the fence and caught up to him. I was trying to figure out what happened.
It's a running joke, by the way. Yeah.
Badger, he came to see me. How lovely.
She doesn't like badgers, I guess.
No, she's just bored because she threw all her toys on the floor. Yeah. But so I caught up to my brother, and he told me what happened. And that was kind of the beginning of the end of my parents' marriage.
Okay.
And that was actually a really good time to have the church around because it gave my mom people to lean on. And they tried to go through couples counseling, which I thought was a terrible idea. But they did it anyway. It still didn't help anything. Made my mom feel just a teensy bit better. So no harm, no foul, I guess.
Right.
But
a lot of times these sorts of things, they either work remarkably or they just don't.
Yeah.
because I've heard both ends of the spectrum. I've never really heard anything sort of in the middle.
Yeah. But it's also how this little homeschooler met most of her friends. So
Going to church.
Yeah, the church was my only outing because me and my brother were homeschooled. I was homeschooled my entire education except for my first and only semester of college.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you never went to any public schools or even possibly religious schools at all, other than possibly Sunday school?
My kitchen table was the only classroom I knew, like, of any kind of, like, actual learning, except for Sunday school, until I went to college.
That's a good question, actually. With college, did they require anything other than that you had some sort of schooling? Like they didn't look for some form of a diploma or anything, did they?
I had a diploma. I have a state recognized high school
homeschooling type. Oh, okay.
The Christian homeschool society that my mom went through. We actually had to be tested 3 different times. Once before we left elementary school, once before we left middle school, and once before we left high school to make sure that we were meeting the state marks. And she had to turn in exactly what we did and exactly what we completed every year so that it could be registered with the school board. So I have a diploma that is just like if I had gone to a regular high school.
Okay, fair enough. Now, what kind of courses were they teaching it? Like when it came to the scientific stuff, was she...
It was all Christian based.
Was it? Wow. So not a lot of evolution, I assume.
No. And I was definitely one of those people that was like, evolution's not real. God did everything, because I bought into all of it. I did. For the longest, I bought into every bit of it. And then when I started finding out more about evolution, I was like, oh, well, if that's what happened, then it was because God wanted it to happen.
Of course.
Yeah, I was one of those.
Yeah, he started it and let it all take off from there. Yeah. That's what you common when you hear.
Started the Big Bang, and then everything else just kind of figured itself out, I guess.
See, that's one of the misnomer things that I just can't stand, because they seem to equate the whole Big Bang with evolution, and they're totally different topics, right? We even know how the Big Bang happened. The only thing we can't see is what was before it, right? Like, we know about that. And I guess you didn't learn any of that as well.
No. That's not something I took in college either, so there's still a lot I don't know.
Sure.
But I'm welcome to learn. If somebody wants to sit down and be like, we're going to teach Katnip how to science.
Well, we know lots of people that can help you with that.
Oh, I'm sure we do. I know the community's full of people. Just full of all kinds of people.
A name that comes to mind is Jackson Wheat or James Downer. What is it? RJ Downer? Or whatever his name is. And Aaron Ra, of course.
Yeah.
They all know that sort of stuff.
Aaron Ra scares me.
Really?
Like, really intimidating.
Are you going to make it to the Faithless Forum? No?
Yeah, because the dates that they chose for this year is the weekend of my daughter's very first birthday, and I'm not gonna try to take her all the way to Texas away from all of the family, because first birthday is supposed to be a really big party, and so.
Yeah, understood.
If it were any other weekend, like I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for them to announce the dates, because I've been telling the husband, I'm like, I want to go. He's like, okay, let's see what dates it are. Of course, they had to do dates I can't go to.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when something like that happens. It's funny because I got messaged. Huh?
There's next year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll probably be there next year too.
You better.
I just got messaged from Prophet Azad and Telltale today, both of them looking for my email addresses, or whichever ones. I gave them 2 that I use most commonly. Of course, is my 604atheist at Gmail, and then of course my name at gmail.com too, right? But, and I think I said to Telltale, I said, because this is after Zod already messaged me, and I'm like, Jesus, you're the second person asked me for this. Am I in trouble?
Bad.
And Owen goes, busted. So I have no idea what's coming. I don't know if
They're trying to give you extra VIP tickets.
Well, maybe, or they
Super
might
special
actually want me to speak.
Yeah, that would be super
Right.
cool.
Because we've all been added to this big group now on Twitter. Anyone who's over 1,000 plus subscribers has been added to this group that are known to be at Faithless Forum. So I think there might be some stuff going down. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But anyways, back to the story here.
Cool.
Hey?
It'd be super cool.
Yeah, it would be. It definitely would be. I'd probably be nervous, but I don't know. Probably
I'm
not.
nervous right now, so...
Are you?
I am terrified.
Of?
I don't know. Like I talk to you live all the time. I'm live with Angie all the time, but for some reason right now I'm terrified.
Because you're the focus.
Yeah, probably.
That could be why.
Yeah.
But you're doing great, so don't even be nervous. You have nothing to worry about. Yeah. Here, have some beer.
That's good shit. I mean, when we go to the after party, during the interlude, I'm gonna go make me a White Russian.
There you go.
That is my drink of choice.
The intermission.
Yeah.
500 subs. Dallas, excellent. You're halfway there, brother. To the first 1,000 anyways. And that's crazy. Dallas is like awesome.
I had like 5 this morning, so you're doing better than I am. Good job, Dallas.
You had 5? No, you had more than 5 when I subbed.
Yeah, I think it was like 15 when you subbed. Something like that. Wasn't more than that, though.
More people have said that they subbed in a chat, so.
Yeah, I put my phone on silent the minute we went live so that I wouldn't hear bzzz, bzzz.
Yeah, I do that too. I do that too, so nobody has to hear the Mario coin every 3 seconds. Yeah. All right, so now that you guys are going to church and whatnot, how long did that last for? And also, when you finally got to college, did some stuff start to hit you at that point?
Well, it's kind of funny that I never questioned any of it until we started going to church. And then the first Sunday we went to church, I was like, this is garbage. Like my brother and I tell each other everything. Like everything. Any secret we ever had went through each other.
Okay.
And like we got home that first Sunday and I looked at him, I was like, this sounds like garbage.
It's funny how that works.
He's like, oh, it's probably you just didn't like this Sunday's sermon. Just wait until next Sunday and see how you feel. And the next Sunday, we both came to each other like, that was trash. But my mom fell in love with the pastor and how he preached his sermons. So we ended up going for my entire, I think we started going when I was in 7th or 8th grade.
Okay.
And we kept going up until I graduated from high school.
Okay. So that's quite a few years, like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, quite a few years.
Okay.
And I spent most of that doing the Sunday morning, Wednesday night, and volunteering just about whenever they would let me, just so I could get out of my house.
Yeah.
So
hey, at that age, any outlet to get out is something that you grab.
Especially when you're homeschooled and the only people you're around is your mom and your brother and your super abusive dad, and anywhere was better than there.
Right. When you say, I don't want to pry too much because this might be sensitive for you, but when you say abusive, was it mostly mental or were there physical stuff?
Yeah, it was mostly mental and verbal and that kind of stuff. Sure. It never got physical with me. Okay. I was the only one of the 3 of us that he never laid his hands on. And that's partly because my brother told him that he would kill him if he tried to even think about touching me.
I like your brother.
Me too. My brother is the sweetest, calmest, most passive person on the planet. The only time I've ever seen my brother get aggressive with somebody was so I came in, I think I came in from outside because I used to spend lots of time outside. And my brother and my mom had a fight. This is when my brother was still in school. He's 3.5 years older than me for context, but I think he had to have been like a junior or a senior in high school. And Mom was fussing at him for something. And so they were in his room, like he was here. His bed went this way and he had a desk this way. So it was like a little corner. He was sitting here and Mom was standing there talking to him. And the door, so they were in the corner like this way, and the door was like over here.
Okay.
So they were as far into the room as they could get. And my dad had come and was blocking their way out. There was no way for them to get around him because he was a very big, he was like 5'8", 350, 370 pounds. He was a big dude. Yeah. So they were like, essentially, in my mind, they were trapped. There was no way out of that room because they were not going to get around him if he didn't want them to. And I came into the hallway. Our house was set up really weird because my grandpa built it just kind of however he wanted, a little bit at a time. So there was like a chunk here and a chunk here. So you step down this little step to get to my brother's room. And I stepped down the step down and I was standing in the door frame. And my dad was screaming at them for something. I don't remember what. And I stood in the doorway and I said, "Hey, asshole, get out of the way. You don't need to be in the way." And I mean, I was the smart ass kid that didn't know her place.
I knew I liked you.
Yeah, I've always been the sassier one of the two of us, my brother and I. So I told him, I was like, "Hey, asshole, get out of the way." And I was standing literally in the door frame. And he said, "This doesn't concern you." And he turned around and he slammed the door in my face. And the door actually hit me. Oh. And my brother jumped across the room and put my dad up against the wall by his throat with his forearm. He had his neck in between the forearm and the wall. And he said, "If you ever touch her again, I will kill you." And my brother doesn't make threats. It's like, that's the first and only time I ever seen my brother get aggressive with anybody. Even to this day, he has never done anything like that since then or before then. It was a one-time thing and scary.
Wow.
It's
funny because I had one of those moments with my dad too when I was finally bigger than him. Right? Because he used to, I'm not trying to excuse what he did when I was a kid, but I'm pretty sure I was the brunt of his anger due to other things outside, family-related stuff between his brother and sister, shit like that. And I just bore it all because I was the little dickhead that was never home on time, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then my sister and I were having an argument because one of my buddies was at a party, I think at my mom's place, because this is after my folks had split, and my sister lived with my mom and I lived with my dad. We were partying over at my mom's place, and a buddy of mine just got drunk as fuck, and I guess he went into the washroom and he put a bunch of his shit on the counter. In the process of putting it back in his pockets, for whatever reason he took them out, I don't even know, but he grabbed one of my sister's little facial scrub things. Mm-hmm. And I think he may have thought it might have been chip dip or something. So he put it, I think he tried to eat it because there's a little bit missing. And he gave it to me. He goes, "I don't know how the fuck I got this, but I think it's your sister's." And I gave it back to her the next day, and she started yelling at me. I'm like, whoa, I'll tell you what happened. And she's like, "I don't care, blah, 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 blah." And my dad said, "What's going on here?" And he came at me like, "Don't you talk to her." And I just fucking grabbed him and held him up against the wall and said, "Look, I'm twice your fucking size now, mister. This shit ain't going this way anymore." And he had this look of fear. I'd never seen him look like that.
You were like, "I think not."
Yeah, and then the relationship dynamic changed from there. But
I can imagine.
I mean, he got angry still, and but it was usually for good reason. But by that age, which I was 18, 19, I think at the time. Yeah. I'm an adult now too.
About the same age I think my brother was when this happened.
Yeah,
he's 3 years older than me, so I think it was about that time that he put our dad up against the wall.
Yeah.
Terrifying. I didn't see it. It happened on the other side of a door, but I was still like, go you.
Yeah. Well, he didn't raise a hand at me ever again after that. It was all, he'd yell at me from like across the room, but that was about it.
"Hey, you little shit, get back here." "What did you say?" "Nothing."
Runs into his room.
Hides.
I'm going to go hide in my room and watch Looney Tunes. Anyway.
Essentially.
Yeah. All right. So now you're in college and you start to I guess you didn't really take courses that would have dispelled the whole science stuff.
No, and I mean, skipping all the way to college is a little bit too far.
Oh,
We back up a little bit because by the time I got to college, I was a super closeted atheist, and I didn't know I was an atheist.
Okay.
I didn't believe in anything else. The stuff that I had been told was garbage, and I didn't believe it, especially when I've never actually read the entire Bible. Because I got part of the way through it, and I was like, why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah, as soon as you hit the begats, it's like...
Yeah, my mom has actually sat down and done an entire genealogy of Jesus.
Genealogy. How the hell did she do that?
She went through the entire Bible, and somehow or another, she found the genealogy of Jesus, according to her.
Right.
Whatever.
Interesting.
That's also saying that being homeschooled, every morning we started with prayer and Bible study. Hell.
Yay.
Yeah. I hated that. I was like, you're going to give me an extra high school credit for this? Great. Keep reading.
Yeah. When you went to college, when you finally did hit college, was it a regular college or was it like a Christian?
It was a technical school. It was a regular community college.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we didn't. My husband has opinions.
It's true.
Hello, husband.
Yeah, he's over there handling baby.
Okay.
She's getting ready to go to sleepies, I think. But
speaking of purple rhymes with orange, while we were
an
hour ago.
But yeah, by the time I made it to college, I was like, that stuff that I learned before was garbage. Time to go find something else. Because about my senior year of high school, my brother was in college and he brought home college friends. And one of the friends that he met ended up, I kind of sort of like adopted their family. And they were really cool. Like, they were the first people that I was ever around that had no religious anything.
Wow.
And it was kind of because, like, I still talk to them. They're still, like, my favorite people on the planet.
That's awesome.
The mom of that family is like a second mom to me, and I call her for just about everything I don't talk to my own mom about. But they were, like, really cool, and my mom got so mad when I started hanging out with them.
Why?
They're gonna teach you all that Satan worship.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so the mom of that family, she's into pagan stuff, but she's not really super, like, religious about it. She believes what she believes, but that's, you wouldn't know it unless she started talking about it.
Right.
She doesn't bring it up unless you bring it up. Yeah.
Yep.
But so I was around, for the first time in my life, I was around something different that wasn't just Christians telling me read the Bible more. And she was like, don't do that. Here's some other literature to read. I never got to read it because she was like, well, you should go to the library and get it. And I was like, if I get it from the library, my mom's probably going to burn it, and I don't have money to replace library books. So,
did your mom realize that she can be actually arrested for that?
Well, I never gave her the chance to find out. So,
okay, good.
We're good. I knew better than to bring that in there. Speaking of what Dead City just put in the chat, that family I was just talking about taught me how to play D&D, and I still play it to this day every Sunday with my brother and friends.
You're going to get possessed by demons now, you know that.
Bring them on.
They come in through the dice, especially the level 20s. The die 20s.
Hold on, where's my...
In a Crown Royal bag. Look at that.
You bet.
Look at that. I think half the people I knew that played had those things full of dice.
Yeah, they're the best dice bags I found. I've looked on the internet for better ones, and they don't exist.
You didn't see the chainmail ones, I guess.
No, I did, but I don't want them scratching up my new table.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I specifically went and bought a new table for D&D playing, but
Woohoo.
this is my new set. Yeah. That aside, yeah. Now we can go on to college.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
I think we can continue moving forward instead of
Catnip to college years.
backwards.
Is D&D an atheist thing or something?
No, it's a nerd thing.
Yeah, it's more like it.
Dungeons and Dragons. It's where you play imaginary with people, unless you guys are rich enough to afford the miniatures and have all the miniature stuff.
Yeah, I had friends like that. I never did that. I had a guy that used to paint them too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have miniatures, you might as well paint the bitches.
Yeah, exactly. Blue dice scrotum.
Yes, my dice scrotum. It's my favorite.
Mark is awesome.
It's not just blue; it's blue with silver trim. If you're gonna talk about my dice scrotum, at least get it right.
Yeah, no kidding. Dice scrotum. Hello, Chris, and hello, Zach.
Hello, everybody.
They just joined us. So.
I know, but hello, everybody, just in general.
Yeah, let's continue. Ignore them. Let's just continue.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole we will fall in and never get out.
Well,
that's
they'll have
the
a chance.
For.
Exactly. They'll have a chance to chat with us after that.
Yeah. Well, by the time I got to college, I was like, all right, whatever. Mom believes what she believes. And that's just the end of it. Yeah. But the people I hung out with in college was just a mixed bag of people. We never really talked about anything that weren't our classes because most of us had the same classes, or I knew them from church. Because apparently my entire church decided to go to the same college, even though it wasn't a Christian college. Whatever. But yeah. I didn't pick the label atheist for myself until actually very recently.
That's up to her, my friend. And how recently when you say that?
Well, let's see. It's February, so
last week.
Right about the time I found you, so it's been a couple months.
Oh, good.
Before Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow. Okay. You know me longer than that.
Yeah, I'm sure I have. I'm trying to remember exactly when that was.
It's got to be since the summer, at least.
No, I think it was right at the beginning of fall, probably. The end of summer into fall, probably. But yeah, thanks to you and I can see his face and I can't think of his name. He's got the really nice hair and the glasses and he hangs out with Jamie.
Eric?
Yes, Eric. I feel so bad that I couldn't remember his name. I could see his face in my mind.
Mr. Eric Murphy.
Yes, Mr. Murphy.
By the way, that's my most watched episode.
I know. That's also like the first episode I watched. Because it's Eric's fault that I found you. Because that one episode that you called into their show and they were talking about you and all your blood donations is how I found you.
Oh, wow. That was a long time ago, though. Or you must have seen it after the fact.
Yeah, it was way after the fact. Because once I found Eric and Jamie, I went and binged their entire catalog. The whole thing.
Some pretty good episodes, man.
Yeah. Like the whole thing. I went and watched as much of it as I could get my hands on.
Yeah, I think some of my favorites that were on there were like Otangelo and that Rob from New York and Seamus. Yeah. How can atheists have morals? That's one of the reasons I called in was to counteract this Seamus guy.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that entire conversation, actually, or most of it.
Yeah. I had just decided to attempt. I hadn't even gone through any testing at the time, but I was decided to attempt to help a friend of mine by donating a kidney. Turned out I couldn't.
Yeah.
Due to my
try anyway, and that's
10
points for trying.
Hell, they told me I couldn't, and I'd probably have a lot of problems, possibly even die. And I even fought that. I even went to the surgeon board and tried to appeal it to it. And they said, nope.
Do they realize that you like donate blood like it's going out of business?
Yeah, they do. They do that. It's weird because I didn't even have to say anything. And one of them said that they recognized my name, and it was from that. So I guess they talk about that shit in their circles for whatever reason.
Maybe. I mean, you've got to be at least on somebody's radar, all the blood you give.
Yeah, I think the best response I ever had to that was shortly after I started doing it. And I was on the news and stuff like that. And I was at 7-Eleven visiting a friend of mine out where I used to live in Ladner. And I walked into 7-Eleven to grab, I think, a pack of smokes or something at the time. And as I'm walking in, this little old lady walks out. And she kind of does one of these little arm tug things on your sleeve. And she goes, "Excuse me, sir." And I'm like, "Yes." She goes, "Were you the gentleman that I saw on TV the other day who did the blood donations to honor his father?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was me." And she goes, "Would you mind if I gave you a hug?" I said, "Sure." And as she's giving me a hug, she goes, "It's because of people like you that I got 5 more years with my husband." So, yeah, I know. So that was probably the one that stands out of my head the most.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's why I do it. Not for the hugs from little old ladies, but that's why I do it. So
I mean, that's a bonus, but
yeah.
help people, and sometimes getting hugs from the little old ladies is even better.
Yeah. Well, she got because she got the extra time with her husband, so that's why. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so now where are we at?
Well, that puts us at college, and nothing really exciting happens in my life from college until now. So
until right now, when you're on my show.
Essentially, I mean, I got married and had a baby.
That's pretty exciting.
It is. I mean, I wouldn't have changed it for the world.
Exactly.
Getting married was the last super religious thing that I did.
Oh, even though
my husband's. Yeah, well, it was a lot less for me and a lot more for the other people that were around me.
It's your day.
Yes, but
I'm not trying to be the dickhole here, but I get it.
No, I know. I went, like I said, I didn't really pick the term atheist for myself for a long time because I kind of was a pancake. I would flip-flop between, some days, yeah, sure, something exists, and I'll pray to it if I feel like it. And other days, yeah, no, there's nothing there. I'm wasting my time. So for a long time, I was just kind of like, however I feel today, what pants am I going to put on? You know?
I'm going to wear my God pants or my atheist pants today.
Essentially. Yeah. Well, it's more of my mom talks to me about religion, put my religion pants on. Oh, somebody wants to talk about atheism, let me take my God pants back off. You know? And my husband's family is super conservative, Christian. Yes.
I don't know. Have you seen those machines they have in Japan now?
No, I don't live there.
You just walk in, stick it in there, and it does all the work for you.
Fantastic.
Sample has been received. All right. I need a nap.
Need some orange juice and a nap.
Yeah, OJ and a nap, yeah.
But, yeah. My husband's grandfather is a Southern Baptist preacher.
Excellent.
What's nice is that he's actually a really good person, aside from the religion.
Yeah, I find most people are.
Right? Yeah. But between my mom and then my husband's entire family, I was just like, it's better off that we do the more Christian-y. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do if I wasn't going to do that.
Right.
We got married in my mom's backyard. It's the yard that my grandpa planted.
Excellent.
The property of the house that my grandpa built.
That's really cool.
And since he's not with us anymore, there was no better way to have him with me than get married in the backyard that I helped him garden all these years.
I'd like to know how you know that there, Badger. He's been to Japan recently, I guess.
Badger, I have questions.
Yeah. Apparently, he wants me on his show.
Yes, apparently.
As we had spoken about earlier.
I'm mad that Badger doesn't want me on his show.
Oh, I'm sure he'd have you on. Just, hopefully he takes care of it a lot sooner than he's been doing with me.
Oh, man.
Mind you, it's a two-way thing. I could be messaging him too, right? But anyway. Well, we are getting close to the top of the hour. Is there anything that you want to add to the conversation, that, like some advice for people? Or, I don't know.
You're gonna homeschool your children. Do not use Christian material, please. There's so much I had to unlearn and so much I still need to learn as an adult.
Oh, yeah. But at least you can, right?
Yeah.
Which is the glory of this.
The internet. So if you hear me saying something that's wrong, just pat me on the head and say, silly Katnip, here's the right thing. Because I probably don't know any better.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. Yeah, don't homeschool your kids with that fucking, what do they call that? We just talked about that on the last stream I had too. What's the name of that?
Well, there's two
CAS or something, or
there's two different main curriculums that Christian parents usually bounce between. One is Alpha Omega.
Okay.
And the other one is ACE.
ACE, that's the one I was trying to think of. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I did both of them at different parts in my schooling. And Alpha Omega sucks.
Well, so does CAS or ASK or what? ACE. Yeah, sorry. ACE.
Let me put it like this. From a doing the homework perspective, I'd rather do ACE all day long because it's like the easiest shit on the planet. I don't think I learned anything because it was like, read this, next page, answer questions that are directly the same thing you read over there, just missing a word. Just copy them. And at the end of the section, write the Bible verse at the bottom.
Yeah.
Which I actually talked my mom out of making me do.
Oh, hey, look at that. Who showed up here? Huh? Another big time guy. Yeah, I get all the important people here. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to, he does.
Yes. Dallas, you're right. I completely forgot about Abeka too. Abeka's the one that I did the longest.
Becca. Yeah.
I don't know how I forgot.
Atheist News does a Jeopardy show that I've done a couple of times. Did really good once, and then I just sucked ass the next time. So anyway, yeah.
You can't be good all the time at everything.
I know.
You have to be bad at something so you can be human. Otherwise, we might think that you're God, being perfect at everything you do.
Let's not do that, please.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to be wrong about something.
I can't walk on water, and I've tried. Fucking that lizard or whatever that runs across it much better at it than I am. The Jesus lizard, they call him.
Yes, the walk on water lizard. I know what you're talking about.
And there's spiders that do that too.
Yes.
Anyway, well, what do you say we jump into an after party? I know it's not quite an hour because we're like 5 minutes late.
Fantastic.
All right.
There's not really much more to talk about it unless we want to just get into my general life. But as far as staying on topic goes, we've pretty much summed it up in a neat little package.
No, Angie's not leaving because of you.
Is Angie leaving? Did I miss?
Angie's got kids that she's got to take care of. That's probably why she's leaving.
Yeah, probably. It's probably the babies sitting
with me. Yeah, you're good people, Stephen. Don't worry about it. All right, so we're going to do an after party. So if anyone else would like to would join us, let me know through Twitter, and I will send you a link. Stephen, I haven't seen you around for a while. You should come in, maybe.
If he doesn't respond the first time, page him again after like 3 minutes because he's probably not looking at it.
Oh, probably. But that's all right. Anyway, well, thanks.
Hopefully you saved me a spot.
Well, you're the first one I let in, so yeah, that's just a given. But thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. I learned stuff about you I didn't know, so there you go. And I think a lot of people did.
I am an open book. So literally any questions. Like
Oh,
when you were asking earlier about
well, how was your?
what kind of abuse we went through. It doesn't bother me anymore because I've talked about it enough with myself and with people I know that it's a part of my life, but it's not like a part of me. So I can separate and talk about anything. I'm an open book, even down to my sex life, even though that'll probably embarrass the husband.
Sorry, hubby. We won't get into it. Don't worry.
Sorry, not sorry.
There's not much you can hide anymore.
The internet has dick pics of yours, I'm sure, somewhere.
Incorrect.
I doubt that. You don't know what I share.
Well, if you find him, you got to draw like little eyes on it and stuff, so it looks like a snake. My buddy has that tattooed, which just fucking blows me away. I'm like,
snake, fantastic.
Yeah.
10 points to that guy.
Yeah, my dad that's so cool.
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds really fucking painful to me because I have tattoos. I can only imagine. Like it's and in the super tender spots, like under your arm and stuff. It hurts like shit. I can only imagine what it hurts. How badly it hurts.
Actually got a penis. He's got a penis tattoo. I thought he had a tattoo of a penis. Okay.
No. He put tattooed eyes on the front of his penis, on the head, like so it looks like a snake. Yeah.
Okay. He deserves more than 10 points because apparently he's a masochist.
Yeah, we'll give him 11 points.
12 and a half, and that's as high as I'm going.
Sure. All right. What is this? What the heck's that show now? Pawn Stars? It's like we're negotiating.
Yeah.
Pawn Stars. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Don't get old, people. The mind is the first thing to go.
Oh, shut up. You're not even old.
You do realize I'm in my 50s, right?
I do, because you always show off your shirt that says...
Oh, yeah. I'm not like most teens. I'm in my 50s.
In my 50s, yeah.
Right, yeah. People like that shirt. I think it's pretty funny. Well, only one person didn't like it. And funny enough, she was a very religious person. So I don't know why that mattered, but maybe she thought I was being pedo-y or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
But that's not the point of the shirt.
But,
anyway.
but you're not a part of the clergy. It's not like you're going to run around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not a priest in the Catholic Church, lady. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're not a father.
Yeah. Well, not that I know of.
Not that kind, at least.
Okay. All right, let's do this. We'll jump into an after party, guys. Thanks everyone for joining us for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Guys. Thanks for coming to listen to me talk about my life.
I'll just run this one more time to thank my wonderful patrons: David Worley, Megan Lewis, Robert X, Mikey Famine, and Kristen Frogan.
Yay!
And we'll start her up probably.
You get 100 points.
Oh yeah.
For supporting Neil.
Yeah, I got a few $5 ones and a few like $1 or $2 ones too. So that's pretty cool. We'll get her going probably within about 10 minutes. I have it scheduled for 6 or 5:10 because I usually take a little bit of a break in between the two shows, and I'm going to do that again. And remember, guys, if you want to be in, let me know through Twitter or Facebook if you're not on Twitter. And if you're not actually following me or friended me on Facebook, you can find me at Neil Bernstein on Facebook, and you can find me at 604 Atheist on Twitter. And until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of these things, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.